think being a team player is a big habit. How to make others better, um, and yeah, that's skill development is such a broad and general term that I think
Yeah.
some players and parents don't actually fully understand.
Well, and I think when people talk about skill development, they only talk about stick handling, skating, passing, and being a great teammate is a skill. Being a leader is a skill. Talking on the ice is a huge skill where, so many people don't do it. And how many pros have you played with that don't talk enough?
Yeah,
It's such an important skill. I mean, there's so many different things of what is a skill, and all those things are skills. Checking is a skill. Knowing when to make a play at your blue line and when not to is a skill. All of these different things. I mean, I think I've played with more people that had physical skill and lacked mental skill than I played with that had mental skill and lacked physical skill.
right.
So you see all these players that are such good shooters, are such good skaters, are physically, have good size, and for whatever reason, they never did anything on the ice.
Translating to the game,
Right. It never. Right. It never happened for them. And being able to find the soft area of the ice if you're a shooter is a skill. If you know that your biggest asset is shooting, then your second biggest skill should be finding a way to get open. And these things rarely get talked about, and they rarely they're really focused on. Played with a guy, Marty Firk, right, who everyone knows him, right? And we were playing against him in Toledo, right? When you're in Greenville, you know this guy. We play against him. We play against you all the time. And he gets sent down to us. And we know his biggest weapon is his shot.
Yeah.
But yet all he wanted to do was skate the puck through the neutral zone. So when you have the puck on your stick more often, you're more prone to turnovers, right? And when you know that role that you're going to play at a higher level, and your role is, and you have the biggest weapon out of anyone, and it's your shot, well, get the puck off your stick, get it to somebody who kind of can make that play, and you go find an area where you can get a shot off.
Yeah.
And once you kind of figure out those things and those skills, then all of a sudden, okay, now we're talking. We tell you, hey, you're Brett Hull. You don't need to skate the puck through everything, okay, right now. And yeah, talking about kids at the younger level, it's why are the centermen always the best player? Well, it's because they skate all over the rink. The kid that says he wants to be a defenseman from a young age, he's standing on the blue line, okay? So he's not getting his reps. He's just standing there half his shift, and he doesn't get to touch the puck. He doesn't skate anywhere. So then all of a sudden the centerman that's going everywhere, obviously every centerman ends up being the best player anywhere because he's the one getting all the reps, or she's the one
best player, but also most valuable.
Yeah, right. So because they're doing more and they're practicing, and every time they're playing in games, they're going everywhere. So they're working on their skating at the same time they're working on their puck handling. They're working on their vision of the game. And when you're a defenseman, you're going to sit there and stand at the blue line. You're not working on anything. So, I mean, I think all of these different aspects are all skill development, but when parents see skill development, a lot of times they just see, a lot Power Edge Pro, skating through obstacle courses and things like that and skating at full speed, and aren't realizing that those players are also watching video, are doing all these sort of things that are showing okay, how many times did I get into the area where I could actually score a goal? Or how often the game was I just perimeter, or how many times after I did a cutback did I actually attack the net? Or, I asked kids right off the hop, what is the object of the game? It's to score goals. But how do you score goals? And they said, well, I don't know. You just you do it, or you do this. And I said, you know what? The way I look at the game is how can I find an odd man situation somewhere? because you each have 5 guys on the ice most of the time. Power plays, obviously, you have an odd man situation. So puck movement or moving the puck and then skating without the puck is going to be your biggest, possibility of finding an odd man situation somewhere. And that is one of the biggest skills that we don't talk about enough, especially with parents and youth. They think stick handling, they think skate, or again, like I think the biggest underdeveloped skill is passing or catching passes. I don't think that's worked on enough. I see a guy shoot 500 pucks, but every time I pass him a hard pass, he's a young player, he can't catch it to get a shot off. So it's like, why would we shoot? Right. So it's like, why would we shoot 500 pucks if we're not going to catch 500 passes on our backhand, when we can? So all of these different things that aren't really thought about, and a player, it's just, it baffles me that it's not talked about enough like that. But again, it takes a lot more than putting in a system when you're a coach and you want to win and you want to do this, especially at the young ages, because it looks good on you of how many wins and losses you had of, hey, we're going to work on breakouts. Hey, we're going to work on this, hey, if every guy has skill, you can drop on the board what a breakout is and they'll be able to do it.
Right. Yeah.
So that's always been my philosophy. And that's, so skill development is such a broad area. And that's what we wanted to do at Mountain High Hockey, is that we wanted to work on all aspects of skill development. It was everything in the game. It was how you think the game. It's, what you're doing out there, how you act in the locker room. Is what's your body language? That's all skill. And that doesn't get talked about enough.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, for sure. That's not only to do with hockey too, right? As we learn, as we mature and get older, those are life skills and how we handle it.
Right. Accountability. How much is it? Accountability is like, oh, it's off my sticks, not my problem. I have my guy. You know what I mean? It's accountability is huge. That's such a skill and such a life skill of knowing, like, hey, fucked up right there. Like how many people say that? Like, can just say it. Like, I did. Like, I messed up. It's on me. But the skill then is knowing that you did it and then not doing it again. Right. And I think that's the biggest thing that goes back to confidence too, is that you messed up. Now, are you going to think about messing up the next 3, 4, 5 shifts you have and say, hey, please don't mess up? Or are you going to scrub it clean, be like, you know what, I messed up. I know what I did. I'm not going to do that again. Now I'm going to go make a play. So that's another skill. And that's a skill that I'm constantly trying to work with too. Like, you got young kids that are coming up and they're so confident and cocky. And it wasn't like that when we were coming, right? Like your first couple of years, like you were deferring to the old guys. You know what I mean? You were like a little bit shy, a little bit this, and it showed when you got on the ice a little bit. Yeah, like you're still making plays, stuff like this, but you weren't trying to be as creative, And I think now, like younger players that doesn't happen anymore. These kids are creative. They're not afraid to make mistakes. If they make mistakes, it's all good. And I think that's something that why the game has kind of become a little bit more entertaining as well, because people aren't scared to try as many things.
Yeah.